Hi all. So today's video is about the introductory lecture for the Python. We have already successfully installed Python, and now with the today's agenda, I will show you that what are the introductory things which we all need to know before starting with the Python. So here I will let you know that how we are going to launch the Jupyter Notebook and how we will successfully run our first program. So you will need to go to Start tab, and then you can type here Jupyter. So this will launch our Jupyter Notebook in some time. It will not take more than 20 to 25 seconds. And yeah, as per your default browser, it will open up a new window which will launch the Jupyter Notebook in not more than like 10 seconds. So yes, so these are all the set of folders which are installed in your all the drives. So in any drive where you want to save your current working or the newly created Python file, you can just go ahead. Suppose like I always usually keep my files under the downloads folder. So I will just click it into it, and yes. So this was the pynb file which I explained all the 5 programs yesterday, and for today's agenda, I have already created a file that is Introduction to Python Basics. You just need to click over here, and it will open up into a new tab. So for those who don't know that how to create a new .pynb file, you just need to go over here, click new, and here you can write, you can click on Python 3. So what it will do, it will create a new file in a new tab. So here you are good to go with the writing the code. So this is the way by which you can create a Python 3 notebook file. Here you can rename by just clicking enter, and whatever you want to type your name of the file, you can click it as that. These are the save buttons, and shift enter is the command through which we can execute a program. So I will tell you more about this in our already created file, which is Introduction to Python Basics. So here today I will talk about the basic data types which are already available in Python. So we'll start with the int. Int is a commonly integer data type which is available across all the popular programming languages. So I will explain you that, okay, what is the difference between a integer data type and float data type. So here, integer data type are all the numbers which are not having the decimal values. So if I suppose I have assigned a value 3 to a variable a, and just we are checking the type, the data type, that is the type of the variable a. You just hit shift plus enter, and you will get that data type in the output. Suppose if I enter 3.5 over here, and again checking the data type of the variable a, so now you can see that the data type has been changed and the output is now float. So this is the major difference between an integer data type and the float data type in Python. Coming on to strings. So for strings, strings are any set of sequence which when entered, and we can get it assigned into a variable by using the single inverted comma or the double inverted commas. I will let you know by just giving an example over here. Suppose I write string. So even if you write hello world over here and you hit, it will show you the output like that. Okay, so this will tell you that, okay, this is a string. If you want to check the data type for this, you can write type and check for string. So it will show you that, okay, the type of this string variable is string. Okay, so there are a set of uh, keywords which are already available for Python, like int, float, strings. These are the keywords which are already present. So I recommend you don't use in your Python programming language these type of keywords. This should be avoided. This is a like best practice from the coding perspective. You should not use in any language probably the keywords which are default assigned for that language, like in float, strings, then list. So these keywords should be avoided. Okay, so coming on to the next data type, we have list. So list is a kind of a data type which will accept different type of values, and uh, like how we represent a list and how like it will represent a set of values. It's not like that it will be you can, in terms of any other language, suppose Java or C or C++, you can think it as an array. So here, if I talk about list, so list is you can write list as Rahul, then 1.5, then 2.5, and if I check the type of list, so it will show okay. So Tiwari is not defined. So we should keep and we should take care of the inverted commas. You can even use double inverted commas. That will not create an issue. And see, it is now showing a data type output as list. So list is generally represented by a square bracket, what I have used over here. And similarly, and list is the then I will talk about the next object, that is tuple. So if I suppose write tuple, and I will give a similar notation and similar values over here inside the tuple, and then I check for the type of PPL, that is tuple. So it will now give me the data type as tuple. So majorly, like many a times in interviews, you will be getting the question that okay, what is the difference between a list and a tuple? So the major difference between the list and a tuple is that it is a mutable object. That is, we can go ahead and change the items, and we can add the items in the list. But uh, tuple doesn't contain methods. Tuple doesn't have like Python doesn't have any methods for tuple. Hence the tuples become immutable objects. So once you assign particular values to inside the tuple, then this is acts as a immutable object, and you can't change values inside the tuple. You can't assign, or you can't modify the values inside the tuple. So these are the like these are the major differences between the list and a tuple. And in many scenarios, we use tuples, and mostly, but generally, we use list. Why? Because list becomes easy for a modification purpose. So we use list for the scenarios where we need, and we can encounter a modification. So coming on to dictionaries. So dictionaries is a kind of a data object which stores the values in the form of key value pair. So if I write, suppose like this, so now you can see that the type of dict variable is a dictionary. So here key stands for the values which are to the left of the colon. So the dictionary stores the value in the form of key value pairs. So this is the data type where we can access the variable using the keys, and even we can also access directly the values with the help of keys. In my later videos, I will be completely making you understand that how we can perform operations on dictionaries. Okay, so the next is data type is set. So set is basically used to remove duplicates. Why? Because sets are a data type where suppose it will hold all the values which are unique in nature. Suppose the all the set of values which are present in the set variable, those all will be unique. It will not be having any, it will not permit any duplicate, hence it is named as set. So suppose if I will show you by an example, if I create a list with with these values, and if I assign let me do 1 minute. Yeah, so as you can, I'm just willing to explain over here is like I have entered a set of values and given it, assigned it into a list variable that is a, and what I'm doing is I am performing a set operation over that list variable and then getting it assigned it into st variable. So if suppose you want to check for the data type of st variable, this is very clear that this has come out to be a set. And if you check that I have duplicated 3 two times and 5 two times, but the set operation removed all the duplicates from the after the set operation post. So set variable and the set data type mostly is used for removing the duplicates, and it will be only containing the non-unique values. So for this reason we use set operator and set data type. Now the last is the Boolean values. So if I talk about Boolean data type, so Boolean data type is mostly used to check the condition, like suppose A equals to true or false. So for both of these conditions, the Boolean variables are used. Okay. So after discussing the basic data types, now we will come on to the uh, arithmetic operations which we can perform using the numbers, and basically like these are the operators which we usually use for dealing with the numbers. So plus means addition, minus means subtraction, just a simple maths which we commonly use across in our general life also. So this is there, and for the power term we use 2 stars, and I will show you that okay what all the basic operations we can do. Okay, I will just insert a cell over here, and now I will do one by one operation. So if I write suppose 10 plus 40, it will give me 50. If I write minus 40, it will give me with the sign. Now suppose if I am doing multiplication 400, and suppose if I am doing 2 raised to the power 3, should give me 8. Yes, so these were the 4 operations which I showed you over here. Now coming on to the division part, so that's why I have mentioned over here what all the things is shown by what all the operators. So if I talk about the first operator, that is slash operator, forward slash, so it will directly give me the output. So it will directly give me the quotient with the decimals also if present. So the one slash operator will give me a definite values even with, I will show you with a different example. So suppose if I write 5/2, so it will give me 2.5. So the slash operator gives me the exact value with the floating output. And if we want just the quotient or just the remainder, so we have 2 different operators available. So this is the double forward slash operator, which will only give me the quotient in case the remainder is present, and it will not give us a floating quotient. It will only give the integer part of the quotient. Just for an example, here I will show you the same example which is shown above. So see, 4 divided by 7, exactly the value should be around 1.75, but it is only giving us 1. That is, it is including, it is not giving us the 0.75 part. But if suppose we want the remainder as well, once it gets divided, so we'll be using the modulo operator. So once you do a modulo operator, this will provide us the remainder. So guys, these were the operations which we can do with the operators available with the numbers. And the last thing which I will be discussing in this lecture is the order of the operations. So the order of the operations is Python does with the help of the BODMAS rule. That is bracket first, then off also means multiplication, but yeah, bracket off, and then division, multiplication, addition, subtraction. So if I talk about uh, this sequence, so here what it will do is, firstly it will, Python interpreter will firstly multiply, then it will add, and finally it will subtract. So this will give me 502. Suppose if I have put the brackets over here, and now if we do, so the output will completely change. So first what we'll do is, it will do 50 plus 55, 55 into 10, 550, and then 550 minus 3 is 547. So the precedence of the different signs will be there, and Python will perform the operations using the BODMAS rule. Once again, I will reiterate, B is bracket of division, multiplication, addition, subtraction. So guys, just for the revision purpose, what I have discussed today is the Python data types and what all the data types are available. The default data types are available in Python. Then I've discussed that, okay, how I can check the data type of a particular variable by using this type function. I have shown you different type of data types with some examples like list, tuple. I'll be already giving this Python notebook file, mentioning in my comments. So if you're, if this video is clear to you, if the content is clear to you, please mention, or if there is some error, or if there is some clarifications to be done, please mention in the comments. We'll be happy to resolve them. Thank you.